Stop. Don't blink. Look at me for a second. What if I tell you? Some of the strangest shapes ever seen by humans were not found on Earth, but on Mars. Faces, towers, perfect straight lines, even shapes that look designed. And the scariest question is this: are these just rocks or something more? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, the way you look at Mars images will change forever. Listen carefully. This is not a normal space video. This is a deep journey into one of NASA's most misunderstood mysteries. Imagine this. You are sitting at home, scrolling on your phone, and suddenly, you see an image from Mars. At first glance, it looks normal. Red soil, dust, stones. But then, your eyes stop. You zoom in, and you whisper to yourself, why does this look like a face? Why does this rock look carved? Why are there straight lines on a planet shaped by nature? And now I ask you, is your brain lying to you? Or is Mars hiding something deeper? If you love space, if Mars excites you, if you want truth, not clickbait, like this video, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel bell, and share this with someone who also looks at Mars and feels something strange. NASA has been sending cameras to Mars for more than 50 years. Orbiters from space, rovers on the surface, millions of images. And among these images, again and again, strange shapes appear. In 1976, NASA's Viking 1 orbiter captured an image from Pareidolia, a mountain that looked exactly like a human face. Eyes, nose, mouth. The world stopped. NASA later said, it's just light and shadow. Years later, high-resolution images showed the face disappear. But ask yourself this: why did it look that perfect at first? Your brain is a pattern-making machine. It finds faces everywhere. Clouds, shadows, mountains. This is called Pareidolia. On Mars, this effect is stronger because low resolution, strange angles, long shadows. But listen carefully. Not everything can be ignored. NASA images show cubes, perfect spheres, straight ridges, layered rocks, wall-like formations. NASA never says aliens. They say unusual geology. Unusual, but real. Mars is different from Earth. No forests, no oceans, no constant erosion. Mars is frozen in time. Wind shapes rocks for millions of years. Dust cuts stone like a blade. Edges become sharp. Shapes become strange. And here is a shocking NASA fact. Mars once had rivers, lakes, and possibly oceans. Water shapes everything. Canyons, pillars, rounded stones. When you see smooth shapes on Mars, you are looking at ancient water's fingerprints. What about straight lines, you ask? Nature creates straight lines. Cooling lava forms hexagons. Crystals grow sharp edges. Drying mud cracks perfectly. Mars has massive lava plains. Nature is a better engineer than we think. But here's the twist. NASA scientists admit this openly. Mars still surprises us. Some formations still make them stop. Pause. Dear friends, one question. Tell me common answer. Not aliens, but mysteries. You've seen viral images. Doorway rocks. Spoon-shaped stones. NASA explains erosion, but your brain connects them to Earth objects. And suddenly, Mars feels alive. NASA has found organic molecules, ancient riverbeds, clay formed in water, but no cities, no machines, no technology. Yet, NASA releases raw images publicly. Anyone can see them. Anyone can analyze them. If something artificial existed, the world would know. So why do strange shapes appear on Mars? Because Mars remembers. Earth erases its past. Mars preserves it. Every crack is history. Every shape is time frozen. Look at Mars again. Not with fear, not with fantasy, but with respect. These shapes are not lies. They are messages from a planet that once lived, changed, and fell silent. Perseverance to the surface of Mars. A world that has fascinated humanity for centuries. A world that is at once alien and strangely familiar. Today, through the eyes of our robotic explorers, we are granted a window into its raw, untouched beauty. A planet shaped by time, by wind, by water, and by forces we are only beginning to understand. Look closely. The rocks scattered across the plains are not mere debris. They are ancient storytellers, frozen records of Mars' geological past. Each fracture, each mineral vein, each layer of sediment speaks of water that once flowed, of volcanoes that once roared, and of winds that have whispered across this surface for eons. Now, let us descend to the ground beneath the rover's wheels. What you see here is more than simple Martian soil. It is a mosaic of history. Tiny pebbles lie interspersed with larger rock outcrops. Each fragment has its own story. Some were formed from volcanic activity, others from the slow grind of impact craters, and yet others by the flowing waters of a long-lost Martian river. Notice the texture of the regolith. Fine dust mingled with tiny, jagged stones. The way the sunlight grazes each surface reveals the subtle contours, the hidden fractures, the delicate layers of mineral deposition. These are not static elements. Even now, wind continues to sculpt, shift, and shape them, erasing some, revealing others, in a slow, invisible dance. See the layered patterns in these rocks. Layers are nature's history books. They reveal epochs, times of water, times of wind, times when Mars' climate shifted dramatically. Within these strata, scientists hope to find clues of Mars' watery past, perhaps even signs of ancient microbial life that thrived when this planet was more Earth-like than it is today. Here, at the edge of this panorama, lies the rover itself, Curiosity, a robotic pioneer in a world humans can only dream of walking upon. Notice its tracks cutting through the Martian soil, temporary footprints in an eternal landscape. Each wheel mark is more than a path. It is proof that we are here, that we have reached across millions of miles of space to touch this distant world. Instruments hum, cameras rotate, lasers fire, each action collecting data that will help us reconstruct the history of Mars with unprecedented clarity. And the instruments, oh, what they reveal. Tiny chemical changes in the soil, variations in mineral composition, subtle hints of water-altered rock. Every sample analyzed brings us closer to understanding a world that is both eerily barren and tantalizingly alive with mystery. The plains and pebbled surface. Shift your gaze to the plains. A seemingly endless expanse of red, punctuated by scattered stones, rocks, and the occasional crater. The surface here is a delicate balance of erosion and deposition. Pebbles have been rounded by ancient flowing water. Dust has settled over millennia, hiding secrets beneath its fine layer. Notice the interplay of light and shadow. The low sun angle stretches shadows across the rocks, revealing subtle textures and hidden crevices. It is in these shadows that we often find the most interesting geological clues, tiny fractures that indicate past stress, mineral veins that point to ancient water channels. Slow pan along the ground, revealing small undulations. Even the smallest undulation tells a story. Perhaps a buried crater, perhaps a long-gone stream. Mars is a puzzle, each piece a fragment of its rich and complex history. Now, lift your eyes to the distant hills. Notice the ridges layered like pages of an ancient book, wind-sculpted, eroded, and weathered over eons. These hills are silent witnesses to Mars' past, volcanic eruptions, massive dust storms, and the slow retreat of ancient lakes. Layers of sediment are particularly intriguing. Each stratum may represent a different era, some deposited by water, some by wind. Scientists study these layers to piece together the timeline of Mars' climate. Was there enough water for life? How long did these lakes exist? Could microbial life have thrived here, hidden beneath the sediment, shielded from the harsh radiation that bathed the surface? Look closer at the rocks. See the smooth, rounded edges? These are unmistakable indicators of past water flow. On Earth, similar formations appear in riverbeds and lake shores. On Mars, they tell us that billions of years ago, water carved paths through this landscape, water that may have supported life in ways we are only beginning to imagine. Camera pans to a tiny dried-up channel. This channel, barely visible, may have carried water for thousands of years. And the minerals lining its bed? clues to the chemical environment of ancient Mars, hints at whether it was ever hospitable to life. Beyond the ground, beyond the hills, is the sky. That muted orange, dusty sky that envelopes the planet in a soft, amber glow. The atmosphere is thin, only 1% the density of Earth's, but it shapes the light, creating long, dramatic shadows and softening the harshness of the sun. Dust storms sweep across the plains, sometimes invisible, sometimes engulfing entire regions. These storms are slow-moving, relentless, sculpting the landscape, shifting sand dunes, hiding and revealing the stories beneath the surface. And now, we arrive at the most tantalizing question of all. Could life have existed here? Perhaps, deep in the past, microbial life thrived in lakes, in groundwater pockets, in sheltered rock crevices. The rocks, the soil, the mineral veins, they all whisper possibilities. Organic molecules have been found. Methane spikes detected. Are these echoes of ancient life, or simply chemical processes? The rover cannot answer everything, but it lights the path for future explorers, for humans who may one day walk where curiosity now roams. As we step back from this panorama, let us pause. This image is more than a photograph. It is a story of time, of geology, of possibility. A story millions of years in the making, waiting for us to read it. Mars, the red planet, a world of mystery, of wonder, of silent beauty. Through the lens of our robotic pioneers, we glimpse its soul, and in doing so, we glimpse a part of our own, our endless curiosity, our drive to explore, to understand, to reach beyond the confines of our world. Thank you for traveling with us across millions of miles of space to a world both alien and deeply fascinating. The story of Mars is far from over, and as we continue to explore, each new image, each new discovery, will bring us closer to understanding the red planet and perhaps the story of life itself. And now I ask you, if Mars had water, time, and chemistry, do you believe life ever had a chance there? Comment your thoughts. Subscribe for more Mars Truths Bell. Like if this journey changed how you see Mars, thumbs up. And share this with someone who still thinks Mars is just a red rock. Because Mars is not done speaking yet.